Welcome in, everybody. How's it going out there in the universe of the internet? I know. You have no idea who the heck I am. That's okay. We'll get to that part. But first, I want to say welcome to the first Resellers Podcast. This is the real Resellers Podcast. That's why I'm calling it the first one. And we're here to have a little fun with you guys and actually try to describe the ins and outs of the reseller community and reselling as a whole for an actual business. I won't dive into that yet, but I'm not doing it alone. I'm not going to anger all these people by myself. That's right. We have a co-host, and his name is WSNC. WSNC, how the heck's it going out there?
Hi.
So since these folks have never, ever seen us before, have no idea who we are, actually, outside of unless there's possibly some buyers of ours from our recent live selling escapades listening.
Yeah.
But other than that, nobody really knows who the heck we are. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, I am a long-time reseller for my age. I'm not yet quite into my 40s. Been doing this fun stuff for 13 years. WSNC is a newer company we started. We closed our other company and kind of molded it into WSNC. It was Moz Deal LLC, was open for 12 years, and then WSNC came in just a year ago. And we've been reselling our tails off for the last 13 years. Pretty much touched every type of reselling there has been. And the W stands for West, by the way. In case anybody was wondering, it's just our names. There's 3 owners, and well, there's technically 2 owners. The third owner's not old enough yet. That's our son. So he's not
a future owner.
Future owner. We just added him on early. So yeah, I've been doing this thing for a long time. Mostly toys and collectibles, but we're in everything really company, and we're not your typical reseller either, because we are very retail-ish too, because we do a lot of brand new from manufacturers. So we're kind of the oddballs. We do reselling, but we also do retail. So.
The oddity in the bunch. I gotcha. Well, for those of you that don't know me, I am Random Relics, otherwise known as Jody. Not maybe some other names that I've been called, like
Daryl.
Shut up, Wayne. So I stumbled into reselling in a kind of peculiar way. I had been in the auto industry for 19 years and decided to go my own path. And when I started out, I didn't want to resell anything at all because I'd been selling for all my life. So I started a handyman job company that did very well up until I realized that I was 42 years old, I think. And my body was just not going to take it. So I headed down another path. And I ran into these guys on YouTube that were doing this thing called reselling. And man, it looked easy. Well, you just go and buy whatever and sell it for whatever. I can do that. So after making, let's just say, countless mistakes in the thousands of dollars and hours of time, I figured out what reselling actually was. And I am an everything seller. So I sell everything that I can get my hands on that I can make a buck. But I have learned the pitfalls of sometimes listening to our peers. And that's where I differ. I think we both kind of have a tendency to zig when they say to zag. And it's not, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not doing any of that stuff. But it was hard. It was hard. It was a lot of hard lessons learned. A lot of multiple monthly payments to storage units that are full of stuff that no one wants to buy, and and now that's changing quickly. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been interesting. It's exciting. It does provide you a certain amount of independence. It does shackle you at times, but it does provide you a certain amount of independence. It also provided me the opportunity to catch up with my son, who I had missed a lot of opportunities with for probably the first 4 years of his life, 4 or 5 years of his life, because I was bell to bell 6 days a week and working for somebody else's fortune. And you start to realize quickly that that's kind of dumb to work for somebody else's fortune.
Sure.
And especially when we're smart enough to do it on our own. So that's what got me into reselling. And I don't know, so far it's been profitable. Well, the last couple of years have been profitable.
Let's say the first couple of years we did it, there was no profit.
Yeah. There was more the sound of an airplane crashing, just that constant. That's what the first 2 years is like.
And I think too, the whole, me and you have talked about this a few times. The thing that that drives me nuts with a lot of the resell YouTubers is, and Rumble or whoever, wherever they're on, they have that, like, I'm going to teach you something and you're going to run with it and you're going to become this amazing seller, where we're realists that it always changes. It's always going to change and you're never going to know everything. And that's what being a real reseller is. You have to adapt. You have to change. You have to constantly change with the markets. And you also cannot knee jerk. You have to plan. You have to go through and you have to be level. Otherwise, you can kill your business in a month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's... I can remember the point in time when Whatnot was first released, It's the new bastion of reselling, and everybody needs to go over there. And I went over and I dumped every amount of effort I could into Whatnot. And after somewhere around a year and a half, I didn't crest $10,000 in a year and a half.
Man.
And the problem was, not only did I not crest the $10,000 mark, I killed my eBay store.
Right.
Because I knee-jerked and I put every effort into this new, hot, great thing. And that was a very, very hard lesson to learn of don't put all your eggs in one basket. Keep as many tentacles into the reselling market as you can. And don't just chop one off because this one sounds easier. That's not the way to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I see that happening quite often still today, with even like when when Macari popped up, or look at the ebbs and flows that Poshmark has had. I mean, it used to be sell everything on Poshmark. It's way more money and the shipping is easier. And oh my God, it's just wonderful. Blah, blah, blah. And then the downfall started. And anybody who had moved all their things over to Poshmark was scrambling, trying to figure out how to keep their business going.
Yep.
And it seems to happen at least once every couple years, if not once a year. You hear the horror stories,
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like WSCs and all these different avenues are on websites. We're on District now, where one staple we've always had, no matter what, no matter which business it was always eBay. That was always our staple. It's been here the longest. It is literally the first online selling platform that stayed and was big. I mean,
Yeah.
there's pre-Amazon, survived Amazon's Goliath size, and still is growing. I mean, people that leave eBay just baffle me. At a minimum, you should be keeping it as your safe haven of, okay, my business won't collapse.
Hmm.
That's your piggy bank.
Yeah, it's your safety net. I mean, it,
Not
that's
to
a good
say
way.
one of these other sites won't boom. It's just the one hasn't yet. And the one that did is not exactly easy to sell on.
Oh, Amazon, you mean?
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah,
As
there
big as
is.
as big as WSC is, we don't sell on Amazon anymore. We did, but we don't anymore.
There's multiple horror stories out there about selling on Amazon.
Hmm. They're
Between
right.
holding payments or just the amount of fees, for God's sakes.
They don't hold to their payment schedules. That's what we found first and foremost, and then the race to the bottom on pricing, and
Hmm.
then they started policing that. So, not
Yeah.
interested.
You know
I'd
what
rather
scares
sell
me
it
though is
on the street.
what scares me is I see some of that race to the bottom happening on eBay too now.
Hmm.
It doesn't have a 200% sell through rate, so I need to price this at $5 below the lowest guy. Why?
Well, when you're looking at it that way, then you're gonna look if you're somebody's like, man, I gotta grab this, I gotta dump it 50% because you look at these guys selling low. Just wait them out.
Mhm.
It's part of business. You're not gonna flip everything in a week. I got stuff sitting for a year.
Yeah. Well, and if it's not, I guess I could see like some of the stuff that I do, like the storage unit buyers and stuff like
Mhm.
that. If it's big chunky stuff and you don't want to have it on the shelf for a year, I get it. Flip it quick. But to be honest with you, I don't even know if I would do that on eBay necessarily with the live selling platforms that we have.
Right.
If you're willing to take 50%, then don't wait 6 months. Go take 50% over on that live selling place and get the cash back into your business
Correct.
and use it to go buy something that might have a faster turn rate.
Yeah. And
But
those big ticket items, they can wait a little longer.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the stuff, you're right. That stuff that's, you know, even like $50, $50, $60.
Hmm.
If it's not taking up a whole lot of room, it can just stay there. If it's,
That's right.
if it's a gigantic item and it's like $25, yeah, no, I'm not waiting on that. And pull the pin, get rid of it, move on.
Well, we deal a lot with like die-cast cars and
Mhm.
Barbies and stuff like that. None of that takes that much room. So I can leave, 12, 15, $20 items sitting for a year and not break a sweat and not worry about it. Some of my bigger ticket items, yeah, I don't even attempt to keep them.
Yeah.
Except for my Tonkas. I do keep my Tonkas for a while. I'm a big
Well,
Tonka fan. I do like my Tonka.
yeah, that's got to be. Some of those Tonkas can get rather massive.
I had some of those cranes, those big cranes, but the
Oh
oddity
yeah.
of those things is they actually don't last long. I've sold some of those for $150 that were near mint condition, and then I had some that were mint condition that sold for like $500, and they would go in a matter of a couple weeks. And it
Wow.
just baffles me to no end. I'm like, okay, got somebody buy this for $150, but won't buy an M2 in the box for 20.
Hmm.
I know
Hmm.
it's a collector thing, I get it, but still. You think there'd be
Do you know
more
how
people
many of
that could
my
afford the 20?
friends? Well, when I talk to them about what I do, um, they look at me and go, "Well, like, so what sells?" And then I kind of go through the list of, okay, we sold this and this and this, and they're just going, "Why would anyone buy that?" I don't know. I sell nothing but used stuff, so somebody bought it once. So, the market is there. Don't ever look at something and go, "Oh, who the hell would buy that?" Because it's not you. You're not the one buying it. You're the one selling it.
Exactly. And
So
and and, and that's a good point you bring up too, is like there's a lot of sellers that come on new, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna buy what I like. It's not about you. It's about thinking about everyone else and looking at a sell-through rate. You don't want to look at just buy what you like. I mean, I do love diecasts, I do, but there's a big market for them, and I buy a lot of diecasts that I don't really like. Why? Because other people love them.
Yeah. It's kind of like the whole, well, not anymore, but almost like the whole Funko Pop thing. You know,
Oh,
would I
yeah.
sell Funko Pop? Sure. Did I like Funko Pop? No, it never made any sense to me. It's a McDonald's toy in a fancy box.
It is absolutely that. And I remember when they came out, we were in the boom part of it. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible because in the beginning there wasn't a lot of variation. Then they started adding in Dorbs and some of these others that they did. And then Chase Edition. Oh, a mess. Made a crap ton of money for a little while.
Oh, I'm guessing. There was a point in time there they were selling, $50, $60 if you got the right one.
And back then, before Funko got big, they were like scrambling to get retailers, anybody. And when that windfall hit, where they just got super popular, all of a sudden the doors just shut and they wouldn't take any retailers anymore. It's like, oh, I'm glad I was one of your like top first 20 people in the door.
Well, and what's interesting with them is people don't realize how long Funko has actually been around. Funko is not a new company. It wasn't a flash in the pan. It was just, I hate to say it, but they figured out how to make the next Beanie Baby.
They sure did.
I mean, it's the best I can equate it to.
Yeah, and the only thing is it will have a bigger upside than Beanie Babies, at least, as over time, as if you can keep that box in good shape, it'll actually still hold some value. Where in 20 years, or Beanie Babies just, and, I'm not gonna knock them. Every other reseller knocks Beanie Babies. I still sell the stupid things, so I don't. They
Well,
everything has a value, I guess.
yeah. I just, I don't have a problem selling them. If I, if somebody wants to give me $5 or $6 for them, I don't care. But I'm also not going to be the guy that comes on here and goes, "Oh, well, yeah, but if it's the Princess Di one," no.
Oh, yeah, don't believe though. Well, this tag has the number date with the dash lines instead of the slash lines. That makes it just stop. It's
Yeah.
PVC pellets versus the stop. No.
So now there's a question for you. How do you tell the PVC pellets between the plastic pellets?
You gotta know how to feel your beans.
I'm not that. Never mind.
There's a different. The downside is like when you talk about the originals versus the remakes or the series. I guess you want to think about it: Series 2, Series 3, the plastic versus PVC. There's a weight difference. There's a sound difference. There is a feel difference. Did I research that to death? I sure did. Especially when I was poor. That'll be a whole show.
Beanie Baby.
I'm telling you, the one of the next shows we have to do. It don't have to be the very next show, but the next show we got to talk about the reasons why to become a reseller. Because I'll tell you now, when we started, it was the wrong reason, and I would gladly walk you through that one.
Well, yeah, mine was. Well, yeah. We'll save that for a later show.
That'd be quite a rant.
Mine was basically forced. It was.
Ours was pretty close to that too, but it was for the wrong reasons, and we know a few people actually that are doing what we did, and we're like, oh no, don't do that. And you know them too.
Oh, okay. Yep. Never mind. Now I know. Yeah. So what's your take on the whole live selling thing?
I am a live selling newbie still. We started live selling in December, right before Christmas. So we got right into the boom of things, which was great. I can say that we're still not completely sold on it. And it's probably just because it's still somewhat in its infancy.
Did you move your microphone?
No.
Sorry,
Why?
you might want to get a little closer to you. It's cutting you out.
Is this close enough?
That's a little too close. That's when you turn away from the microphone, it's cutting you.
Hang on, Matt. Let me adjust. I can make it like a parrot and put it right there.
Oh, there you go. There you.
You really can't even see it if I do that.
Get a little duct tape and we'll put it on there and just.
And there's a duck again. That'll be another podcast when we start talking about a duck. That'll be later.
Duck faces, yeah. Duck faces.
But duck faces, those duck faces. And so yeah, we're still we're not sold on it. We are new. I think live selling in general is in its infancy, still somewhat, and it's not that it's bad. It does things for my business that I couldn't do before, but
okay.
I'm not sold just yet. I'm not sold just yet.
Well, and yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's opened up some avenues for the bulk buyers, but you got to be a bulk buyer if you're going to be a live seller.
Yes.
The thought that you're going to travel around and you're going to hit a couple of yard sales and you're going to end up with a half a back seat full of stuff and you're going to make a living as a reseller. Not on live selling. That's because especially with live selling, you have to, and you've heard me say this to newer people before, you can't look at it as, oh my God, I sold that thing and it only went for $2, because it will drive you insane. What you have to do is at the end of the night, you look at, okay, how much did I make as a whole? If that number is greater than the amount of money that you, well, preferably at least 3 times the amount of money that you spent for the product, you did okay. I wouldn't say you did great by any means, but you did okay. What kills people, and for any of you new live sellers out there, hopefully you're listening, what kills people is they'll get into a live sell, and you've seen it before too, where I'm going to sell, I don't know, let's sell this Montana Silversmith belt buckle, and it's, it's wonderful and it's beautiful. And well, first off, it's a Montana Silversmith belt buckle. 3/4 of the country has no idea what the hell you're talking about. There's no value to it, and you put this thing up and you sell it and it goes for like $10 and you're like, oh my God, well, I spent $7 to buy it. Well, and then you just watch their attitude go. And I guarantee you, the minute your attitude goes as a live seller, you're not selling another damn thing. So if you can't pick yourself up from a situation like that, then you probably need to either work better on being able to mentally un-F yourself in the middle of a show. And speaking of which, there is a book out there that I could recommend to you it's called Un-F Yourself, but the full word. It's a very good book for sellers and just people in general. Yeah, exactly.
I sounded it out.
Okay, good. But that is huge. Your attitude when you're on a live sale is huge. Your inability to just forget about that you only have 8 people in there. Just sell.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Speaking of attitude, the reason why me and you are even doing this is because we are so natural at just keeping ourselves going in the lives that the YouTubers that own the other platforms were telling us, why aren't you on YouTube? And that's because we can not sell something for a while and not lose a step.
Yeah.
It's okay. don't quit.
The best thing I've heard is, "Hey, thanks for looking at that. Move on." Just, you know, and if you need to take a mental break, tell a story, tell a joke, start laughing and joking with people in the chat. Stop and read your chat.
Yep.
You know, there's going to be something in there that you can work off of, and then you can go back to selling once your brain is okay with, you know, you ran 2 things and you didn't sell it. Who cares?
Exactly.
You know, the good news is you still own it. You can sell it somewhere else. I mean, it ain't gonna kill you. So,
Yeah, and we've gotten messages, people asking us, you know, they're saying they love our shows, they love what we do, how they ask us for tips, how do we do it? Well, it would be here. You'll learn the tips real
yep,
quick.
absolutely. That's. I think we both have a workforce education background. I think you're still doing that as a part of your trade.
I have a lot of trades. I like to play in trades. For some reason, I think it's fun to sit there and build other businesses and then just walk out and find another crappy business to build up again.
There you go. He's a fixer.
I'm a giver.
Yeah, I heard you giving it the other day. That was
44 years as a manager. Didn't see it coming.
By the way, your guys suck. They should be out there working, and they're still in the locker room. Oh, geez. Okay. Well,
I'm just so glad he was at his desk playing with his cell phone when I. So good.
The worst part was it was on your way out the door.
Just light that fire and leave.
Yeah, you just, you know, throw the grenade, and you know, don't even bother counting. Just keep walking.
Yeah.
You'll hear the boom.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
So yeah, we've both had our experiences with training, and we both kind of come. Well, I mean, you've made your sales background. I come from a sales background.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the shit happen, and we've seen, you know, I'm sure you've saw it in your lifetime. The employee, not necessarily your employee, but just the employee that you can see their attitude is just,
yep,
they're done. They're burnt. And yep, they'll come to work every day and they'll hit that clock. And then they're just unproductive as hell. Now, the difference between that employee and some of the resellers that, you know, if you think we're talking about you, we probably are, is that employee gets a check. That employee gets the check at the end of the week. You don't. If your attitude is crap, guess what? You just don't get paid. And I don't know about you, but I can't go that many days without being paid.
No, it tends to be an issue.
There's people out there that expect me to hand them money, and things happen if I don't.
I noticed when you open that cabinet door, it don't repopulate itself.
Yeah, it's the dangest thing. You know, I'm waiting for the food replicator to show up from Star Trek, but I haven't seen it yet.
Well, it's all those government promises we don't get. Where's my canned food?
Oh yeah, and by the way, folks, now that you're a business owner, you're not getting any of those.
Nope, because now you officially got too much money, even though you got less money.
Yay! You have too much money. You actually have less money at the end of the month, but you know, you get to say that you're a business owner. So
it's funny you say this because it's exactly the story I was going to tell about the reasons why not to start a business, and it's what we did. The long and short of it is, yeah, we were poor and needed money, and we started a business, and you know what that made us? More poor. With even less money. There's a whole story in it, but that's the gist.
Oh, and less free time too.
Yeah, a lot less of that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? You're a business owner? You must have so much independence. You must love your independence.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. No.
I had to buy a
You
wood stool because of how long I've sat in front of computers listening. I broke the chair. Mm-hmm.
nice. Actually, I can't say much because just last week I broke the chair in the shop. That one last time you stretched because your shoulders are hurting, and all of a sudden you feel the weld on the chair go, oh,
Yep.
and then your eyes get really big, and you get up off that chair quickly.
Usually I commit to the whole roll. I just go
Oh,
back.
yeah.
I go
Just
back with
going
the
all the way.
chair. Yeah,
All right. Okay.
I'm the captain. I go down with my ship.
No. I'm too freaking old. Trust me, that'll stop in about another 10 years.
Is that how
You
many
start
years
looking at the
between
ground
us?
in a whole different way.
Is that how many years between us? About 10?
I think so. I'm 44. Gonna be 45.
Not quite 10. You're my brother's age. I'm 37, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're not. It's
Yeah.
like 7. That's
Yeah,
not bad.
my oldest brother is, I think, 40, going on 47. So he's 9 years and some odd months older than me. So you're actually younger than my oldest brother.
Okay, so you remember though what it was like when you turned 30?
Yeah, it was a depressing time.
You got up out of bed and went for
No,
the first time.
you know what's funny? I still haven't had that yet. And
Oh,
you know why I think so? Because I played football when I was younger a lot. And not like in school, like all the cool kids. No, I played football like in the park with a bunch of morons
oh,
and with no pads or anything. That's how I got my only broken bones, some fingers. And no pads, no nothing. So I started stiff at like 20. So
oh,
I
okay.
really haven't noticed yet, which means I'm probably gonna not be able to move at 50. So
Yes. Where's Wes? Oh, he's late for the podcast. What happened? His straw got plugged on his wheelchair.
he's been trying to sit up since 7 a.m. this morning and it's 9 p.m.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's interesting. I thought there was a slim chance that I might be able to duck this whole age thing, because even at like 35, I was still feeling pretty good. I was, yeah. You get a little aches and pain, you take a Tylenol, all good. You hit like 40, and shit goes downhill so fast. It's not even funny. You, it's like you're trying to catch the liquid manure going down the hill, and it's just running everywhere.
Have you ever seen that that YouTube show How Ridiculous? The show, I don't know, YouTube channel How Ridiculous, and
No.
they're really funny. They're Australian guys, and they like do like all these different crazy things. Well, this last thing they did, they took like 1,000 golf balls, and they put a hole down this giant hill, and they're just gonna release them and see if one gets in the hole. I was like, I hope to goodness that when I retire, me trying to just get something done for the day isn't me trying to catch all 1,000 of those golf balls coming down at once. It's just
Yeah,
funny we thought of the same kind of analogy, but I use golf balls.
it's it is. I didn't. It's well, you saw me. Prime
I see you
example
now.
was, yeah, but I mean the frazzledness that happens in a business owner's life. You saw me Thursday night going, "What? Okay, how are we going to do this?" Because, suddenly, by the way, folks, the Thrifty Flea, we suddenly have all these live streams that are planned for the Thrifty Flea.
Yeah.
And that's awesome because you and I are both owners in the Thrifty Flea, and it's great to see, it's starting to come around. They're starting to be, the engine ain't quite running, but there's definitely there's coal in the burner. Let's put it that way.
There's an engine there at least.
There's an engine there, yes. Exactly. But so this all kind of crops up organically, which is 99% of the time. That's how our stuff works. I don't know why it works that way, but it's organic. We don't try. I mean, we try, but not
I think it's
try
just
for
our,
this.
I think it's just
Yeah.
glowy personalities.
Yeah, exactly. But so all this kicks off, and I'm going, oh crap, because I'm coming into my thrifting season, and I'm going, oh shit, okay, well, let's see, I got this estate and that to do, and then I got to ship out, and the whole time your brain is putting all of this together, and it's trying to tell you that there's not 24, there's only 24 hours every day.
Mhm.
But as a business owner, you got to figure out how to put 36 hours into 24. And it's not fun. But
And that's an easy day.
yeah, exactly. Instead of 48 into freaking 24.
Mhm.
But so like this morning, all right. Usually I don't go thrifting on a Friday, or not thrifting. I don't go sourcing on a Friday. Today, okay, I got time. We're taking off. We're going to go do this. And to run around, get that done. And then I went, we got the podcast. Had to floor it back this way. And I'm like, oh, crap. All right. We're going to get everything going. So we got everything lined up. But yeah, that is every day as a business owner is how are you going to cram 48 hours into 24?
Yep.
And the people that can handle it are going to do fine.
Mhm.
The people that are going to be able to stress out and not let it go, you got to do a little more work on yourself. But
I think too, some people take things a little too seriously too, and what I mean by too seriously, it's a business. It's like there's too many people that are willing to put personal in there when you really just need to be doing what's best for your business. And what we're doing now is both new to both of us. But as you can tell, I'm pretty hard to rattle. Um, wait a minute, let me plug in my snowball.
hold
That
on,
that
let me get my microphone. Good.
I got this. Give me 5 minutes. I got this fixed.
Mind you, folks, I've been talking to him about this since, like, I don't know, last Saturday.
I forgot. And just to give you some context, I was getting ready to go to bed, and I have bad allergies right now, so I probably sound bad. But I was getting ready to go to bed, and he's like, so we're not doing a podcast? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, we'll do it. And he's like, we don't have to. Don't worry about it, And he's telling me, what we're going to do. We're going to try it out. Then, we'll try it out next week. And I said, nope, got everything. Let's go.
Yeah,
That's
so
that's
if it's,
how I roll.
if this seems a little haphazard, well, that's because it is. But
Mhm.
that's why it's labeled test.
You're seeing a business run how a business sometimes runs.
Mm-hmm.
The real
Actually.
resellers.
In fact, I'm sitting here going, why does my arm keep going to the ceiling? And I realized I didn't put my weight on my arm.
Look at how black
There.
my top of my head got. You see that?
Oh,
Why
is
that's like that?
because of that right there.
Because there's a 30-pound cat above my head.
Oh, well, don't worry. It's going to be on your lap here in about 3, 2.
Yep, there it is. He will not give up.
But he likes you.
She'd like me a little less.
No, you don't.
No, but where was I? I don't know.
The drive it takes to be a business owner.
Oh, well,
sometimes it's haphazard.
It is definitely last minute. It can be last minute. Don't think you can plan everything because you can't. And that's where I learned patience. That's why I'm pretty hard to rattle now. Need to get it done? Let's rock it out. That's the thing is be ready to work. Be ready to put in the time. And if you're not willing to put in that time, you're not ready to give that kind of commitment, you're not ready to be a business owner. Don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, anything can be done at the last minute, or in 1 minute if you wait for the last minute, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, and the work that you did today is worth way more than the work that you plan to do some other time. It's worth
That is
way
true.
more of what you finished.
That there is, and I'm sure you go through this too. There is times in the day where, especially being like, especially if you're a business owner that's based out of your home, I find it's even harder.
Yep.
Because there are days where, you get up and my wife is still working outside of the house. She's a teacher. She's got, I think, 3 more years and then she retires. But she, you get her out the door, you get the kid out the door. All right, we'll see y'all later. Da, 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 and then you get that second to go. Huh. Well, you think you have that second. But as a business owner, and especially one that works from the home, you find out that if you take that, it's about 10:30-ish before you really get rolling on what you need to do. So when you want to do that, I've literally said out loud before to myself, get off your ass and go to work. Just go to work. Because think back to when you had a job where you used to have to be on the clock at 8 o'clock in the morning. You didn't have that time to go and then wait to clock in until 10:30. No, if you weren't there at 8 o'clock, you were just not going to have a job anymore.
Yep, exactly.
The unfortunate problem is when you're a business owner, you don't lose your job. You lose your business. You don't just lose the time that you spent. You also lose that money that you've invested into the business. That's a problem. And it's just as simple as not taking that in the morning and then jumping on your phone and getting on YouTube or getting on TikTok or getting on Facebook to see what's going on. You can't do that because it's just a huge time suck. And all of those companies know it's a huge time suck. That's why they're multi-billion-dollar companies. But they're wasting your time. And you're wasting your time.
It's depressing when you watch people like, well, not every time. Some people retire and they're happy and they're like, man, I'm so glad I did this and loyalty to the company, blah, blah, blah. A lot of times though, you see people retire and they just look tired.
They're
Like,
haggard.
yeah, you're this is your last day, you're done, and they're just like, you would expect to see like relief, happiness, or it looks like they're coming to do this again tomorrow. And I think that was a big turn off for me for wanting to be like, okay, I'm gonna go and crush it for somebody else, make them millions while I bring in, I never made bad money, but I never made money that would make me rich or make me comfortable like I want to be. So
you know what's amazing too? As a business owner, I'm sure there's times where you haven't made the amount of money that you made at that hourly job. But it was still way more fulfilling. You were better with your family. You weren't stressed out all the time. This is going to sound weird because this is a business podcast, but you'll find out that you don't need near as much money to be happy as you did when you were making that 6-figure job and killing yourself for somebody else.
And what's amazing too, I think was funny when becoming a reseller and retailer as we did, the more stuff we got, the less I wanted stuff to keep. I wanted to keep.
Yeah, you quickly spin towards the minimalist when you have like your inventory just looming over you all the time.
Like, see all the stuff in the house? Yeah, just sell it. It's gone.
Yeah. Give me a comfy chair, a decent bed, an okay TV. Don't even need anything huge. I'm good.
Well, we kind of talked about it. You're like, well, you're a collectibles company. What do you collect personally? And it's like, well, I collect Pokemon cards because that was nostalgic when I was a little kid, 1990s. That was my, kid era. So that always brings it back for me. And then coins because both my grandfathers, my dad, my mom, we've all had coin collections. We've all done coins. So it's all like nostalgic things for when I was a kid. That's pretty much it. I don't collect anything else.
Yeah, the coins are kind of a generational thing. It's that you have to have. I don't know what I would actually say I collect. Firearms, I guess, would be
And
But
knives,
they're not really collector firearms. I mean,
and you have a hard time getting rid of knives when you find them.
I do.
Just calling you to the carpet right now.
I'm still sitting here holding this one because I'm going. So this is okay. Another pitfall as a reseller. When you find the thing that you actually, have some affection for, sometimes you still got to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way I've come to, I asked you this question earlier was, how do you decide when you find the thing you want to keep? How do you decide if you're going to keep it or not? And my rule is, if I'm not willing to pay for it for what it would sell for, not what I already paid for it, but what it would sell for, then I have no right keeping it from the business. Because, like we were talking about earlier, the knife that I'm caressing here in my hand because I don't want to get rid of it.
I was actually going to say that knife needs a restraining order.
Well, there's a possibility. But so I picked this knife up today for, $4. And I picked it up because, and I only paid $4 because I don't know if you'll be able to make it out, but it even has the goofy Remington etching in there. And I'm, if you know anything about knives, Remington knives, they're usually a dime a dozen, and they're usually Walmart brand. What I failed to notice was this little tag down here that says Remington UMC, United States Marine Corps. And this one's actually made in the USA. So when I looked it up and I picked up this $4 knife, and then I looked and it says that it sells for $125, and it's got about a 400% sell-through rate.
Ew.
Now the dilemma starts.
Just a little bit. Now that internal struggle.
Yes. So that struggle that I was talking about, not burying yourself in everything that you want to keep. This is one that it will be on eBay soon. What?
Oh yeah.
It'll be on eBay in like 6 months.
It'll be on eBay. I want to see you sell it on the Thrifty Flea.
No.
You know why? Because I'll be there bidding. Sorry if I'm
only
drinking a
problem
lot.
is
My allergies are killing me.
Oh, all right. Well, take your allergy medicine tomorrow.
I like to suffer with it. I think that's why I actually don't get worse. This is my here. You ready? Here, this is my conspiracy. We'll start the first show with a conspiracy. My belief is, and this is something my great grandmother used to. She always said, don't take medicines. She always says your body will naturally heal. So that's why I don't take medicines until I go off the cliff. And some would say that's too late. But
most would say it's too late, actually.
But I will tell you this. I don't get sick often. And allergies, I get them really freaking bad at the beginning of spring, but then I don't get them at all in the fall. At all. And the 1 year I did take a lot of allergy medicine, I got terrible in the fall. And ever since then, I just don't do it, and I'm back to no allergies in the fall. So I don't know.
So there is a hearken of truth in what you're saying, because otherwise the microdosing treatments wouldn't be as popular as they are, where they shoot you up with the small amount of the pollen or whatever that you're allergic to, and they do it over time, so you build an immunity to it.
Mm-hmm.
But just don't take it to the point where my throat and my nose is clothing. I'm not taking any pills.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done honey yet?
Yeah, I do the local honey and honeycomb.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing to do with allergies, and that could be why you're not completely dead yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I already got my local honey.
All right, good.
Like there's a farm not too far from my parents' house that we go to.
Yeah. So do you have do you got 10 more minutes in you, or are you ready to?
Oh, I can go as long as you want to go. I am this is my, how can I appropriately say this? This was my first podcast that I've ever been on. There's appropriate. I was gonna say something else, but I'm gonna keep it clean for the kids.
Were you
And
gonna
no,
say
this is not a PG show. Just warning you.
No, there's it. You know, if you're okay with it, have your kids listen after you've listened to it.
Yes. I would let my son watch me because my son watches me all the time. So it's
yeah, and that's the other funny part is you realize that we're not really any different in person than we are on camera.
So I do have one beef I want to talk about.
All right.
This. You
All
ready?
Right. Come on. Bring it up. What do you got?
I'm not going to name names, but he will know who he is. And I speak about him. So I want to tell you something that I will never do to you. I will never sell something and predicate that the other two people in the chat are going to sign it if you buy it without first talking to you. Do you know why? Not that it's a bad thing.
Why?
I have to pay shipping now, and so do you.
I know. And I wonder if the person that you're speaking of has thought about yet that he gets to pay shipping twice.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't worth the $6. That's all I'm saying.
That
was my only.
You realize that there's going to be like $95 worth of shipping spent on the $6 item.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be he basically did an expensive giveaway without promoting it as an expensive giveaway. I cheers to you, Carl. But
thought you weren't dropping names.
Bite me.
No,
that was more of a just kidding situation where it's not actually a beef. It's a funny story. We were just like sitting there in the comments like, what? I said what? I don't remember saying that.
Well, the best part is I got to figure out how to sign random relics because I'm not going to put my legal signature on there.
I got 3 letters. I'm good. You know what's funny? My
Cheater.
real name's only 3 letters, and this is 3 letters. But
so yeah. There's a question. Is that your adjusted 3-letter name, or is that actually your 3-letter name?
No, that there is not my 3-letter name. No, it's 3 people.
I know, but is Wes your legal name?
No, not on my birth certificate. No.
All right, I just wanted to make that clear so people, if you're gonna steal his identity,
do it right.
Yeah, exactly. Do some research. Come on now.
No,
don't
no. Let me put it this way. I had my first fiance. She introduced me to this movie, and no, it's not my current wife, because I was a kid. I was 19.
Never mind.
No, there's apparently a princess movie with a Prince Wesley in it.
Oh.
And I got to watch that. It was great.
That doesn't sound exciting at all.
It was corny. I don't really remember it, but I do remember when I was watching it that I'm never watching this again, and I've held strong to that for almost 20 years. So cheers to me.
Are you
Yeah, you know the movie. I guess it was everybody in here is like, I know that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's like a cult following. Oh geez, yeah, that.
There's the beef I was looking for.
What?
What? I just was insulted so many people. That's their favorite movie.
Princess Bride. Wow.
Princess Bride. That was it.
You went right after Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm. Prince
Oh,
Wesley. And I was like,
Wesley. Yes.
and she goes, she'd always go, "You're my Wesley."
I do not think that you think that means what you think it means.
I
Do you
don't
know who
care what
else was? Do you know who else was in Princess Bride?
Who?
Andre the Giant.
See, that was the good part of the movie.
That was the only good part of the movie, but
I enjoyed that part of it. No, it wasn't a bad movie. It's just I'm not like.
it was a corny rom-com. I mean, it really, that's what it was. It was.
Well, like Twilight. Like,
Oof.
so I had to watch all of those with another girlfriend when I was a little bit older. I remember only waking up for the parts where they turned into wolves and started kicking the crap out of something. And I was like, yeah. So it was a great movie for the 3 minutes I was awake for it.
So you didn't know if you were team, what was it, Jacob, or what was the other one?
Oh, I knew what team I was. And I said I'm team brown wolf guy. Whatever that
Edward.
is.
Edward, that was the other one's name.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? We sell so much Twilight stuff, and they do make really cool stuff for Twilight sometimes. Like they make the really nice action figures and die casts and stuff. So they do make some pretty kick-ass stuff.
It almost has, similar following to like Lord of the Rings or kind of that cult kitschy, yeah. And see, I after selling with me long enough now, I'm a fan of like 70s and back. That's what I sell. I'll sell. I get more excited over some Pyrex glass than I do over, something from Lord of the Rings.
He will sell you those flame coffee cups, man.
Exactly. Don't you pick on my Fire Kings.
Dude, this
there's
like
some Fire King lovers out here that are ready to kick your ass now. See, you got two.
This is like $14 on eBay.
You missed it. I gave you the opportunity. You got two people angry. I figured you'd have jumped right on it.
Well, I've come to the conclusion that I can piss people off without even knowing, and then I get the call like, "You're not really wrong. They're just angry with you because you did this or that," and I'm like, "So do you want me to change what I'm doing?" Yeah. Do you want me to change? No, you're not wrong. You just made him mad. Okay, thanks.
That's all right. You pick on my Fire Kings, and I'll pick on your Hot Wheels.
That's okay. You pick
it's about the same margins.
It is about, yeah. You know what's weird though? So Johnny Lightning and Greenlight, like they're like the premiums. And then M2 came out of nowhere. And M2 is like really, really probably, if not the top, damn near the top now. Greenlight fell off the cliff.
I have heard some scuttlebutt that M2 is not really keeping up with their qualities.
They're not keeping up with their qualities because they're trying to mass produce now. Because who their best, who their best buddy is, Walmart.
Oh, good. The killer of everything sacred.
That's what's killing Greenlight.
Oh, yeah.
And the only one that's staying away from that is Johnny Lightning.
Well, that's what killed the Ruger 1022. That's what killed the Remington 870. As soon as they had to come out with a cheaper, faster produced model, production went up, quality went. I mean,
I'm trying to think, like, what is the only thing that I can think in recent history that has survived the Walmart, Target, big box store overstock death pile is Pokemon. I don't think they just can't produce enough.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing in recent history that their quality stays the same and has actually gotten better. And they just can't put enough out there at all.
Thinking we need to figure out how to fly to Japan,
Mm-hmm.
buy a bunch of Pokemon stuff,
Mm-hmm.
smuggle it back to the U.S.
I'm under my shirt.
Well, I don't want to pay tariff. I mean, yeah.
We'll use the duct tape method like they do with cocaine.
There you go. You
Yeah.
realize how pathetic. We laugh about that, but I'm serious. Somebody just got in trouble for smuggling eggs across the Mexican border.
Just buy a chicken. Seriously.
God forbid, It's like how bad have things gotten where we're smuggling eggs across the border?
Do you have any more eggs on you? I do, but you don't want to go get them.
Yeah, we start doing that with eggs. That's anyway. Next thing you know, they'll be smuggling them into prison, and oh, jeez.
Those eggs weren't brown eggs originally, were they?
Nope.
Nope.
The news is we don't need them balloons no more.
Okay, there's the third round.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy what. And there again, there you go. Well, what drives the market? You got $33 friggin' flat eggs, and now they're coming in smuggled in from Mexico. It's just.
Oh, we have a friend that's a YouTuber that's actually in Mexico. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's going there and gets some
I
eggs.
never thought about that.
Yeah, he's FedExing the eggs back to us right now. No.
He might be setting up his egg cartel.
He's gonna be selling eggs live, guys. Get ready.
Can Pollo Loco.
You guys ready? Gotta start this one at $5. 6-pack of eggs.
I think he's got a trench coat. He opens it up and it's just eggs hanging.
Wanted to buy an egg?
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, so it's just.
Okay, so you just gave me an idea now, and I'm so gonna do it. I have a trench coat and I have a crap ton of watches, and I'm so doing a show with all the watches in my trench coat. We're gonna be selling these watches.
I'm daring you, Billy.
Oh, don't worry. You don't have to dare me.
It's happening. Here I was thinking, is he gonna take the? You know what you could use actually? You remember those old curtain hooks that had like the needle point end, but the S curve?
Yeah.
Take and fill your coat full of those, and then take and hang your Hot Wheels.
On card, right there.
Yep, yeah, it's on card. We got something special for you.
So, it's funny you brought that up too. So we bought our house back 2014, whatever, and we were in this big ass rush, right? So we naturally, when we finally got into the house, got moved in, we didn't have a nickel left. Basically, we're rebuilding back up. And my buddy Tony was helping us move in and move boxes around. He goes to use our restroom. He comes back out. He's like, "Dude, are you poor?" I'm like, "Why? Why would you even ask that?" And he's like, "Dude, your freaking things for your shower curtain are from like the 1940s. There's the old little S curves with the little steel balls on them." And he's like, "Are you guys okay?" Like, that's what makes you tick?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're basing this off of shower hooks?
I was like, I'm gonna go to your house. If you have bologna in your refrigerator, I'm be like, "Are you poor?"
Oh, yeah. And not that expensive, red plastic ringed one. I'm talking like the cheap bologna.
I love chewing on that for a half an hour.
Are you poor? Why do you ask? You have chopped ham in your refrigerator. Can you not afford real ham?
Is that Miracle Whip?
Yeah. Can't you afford Hellman's? You probably should, step it up a little bit.
Tell me that's Aldi's brand ketchup. Huh.
So your buddy actually based your family's income off of the shower hooks?
Well, the sick part of it was, yeah, I guess she had to be there. The shocked look on his face and his concern, not in front of just me and my wife, but her parents too. So, and they don't speak good English, so they're like looking at him like we shot a kitten, and they don't know what's going on, and he's talking about our shower curtain. I'm like, there's so much wrong in the situation that I'm like, I will say some shit. I didn't even know what to say there.
Wow.
This is where we are in life. I mean, yes, we are poor, but that had nothing to do with it. Like,
Well, yeah,
we just bought a house
but
for $100,000.
I was gonna say there's also that whole, that's another thing that gets a little annoying is America's definition of poor. When you always have these people walking around, oh yeah, I'm broke, as they're surfing for a new job on their iPhone.
Yep.
You're not broke.
We got it.
That's another one of those mental, those. All right, I'm gonna just start saying it because we're an hour in. One of those mental mind fucks that people get into. Of, oh god, what do we do? We're broke.
We're past.
Wait a minute.
Mark.
Yeah, do you have food in the fridge? Yeah, well, yeah, okay. You got food in the pantry? Yeah. Okay. Are your lights and heat on? Well, yeah, okay. Then you're not poor.
Nope.
Poor is when you're opening up the refrigerator and you're contemplating whether you should just unplug it to save the energy or not, because there's nothing in there. There's a difference between hard times and poor times, and I think we've forgotten that. Is we've society as a whole has forgotten how to live in hard times.
Yeah,
because we've had it so freaking easy for so long.
Mm-hmm.
That you think because you have to cancel one of your streaming services that you're poor. It's like,
you'll be okay. Hulu will be back in a few months.
exactly. You know what? Give it a month or two. You'll have it back. Just chill. But you see these people that just shut completely down and they're just mentally gone because they're poor. No, you're not. The guy standing on the street side or the street corner with the sign that says, we'll work for food, and then goes and gets in his Malibu and drives home. It's like,
there's a story here I want to hear.
oh,
we could say that for another show, but there's a story there I want to hear.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of. I've been real poor, like I'm talking real poor. And we can talk about that at a later date of what has driven us throughout, to get to this point. But yeah, trust me, there is crap. We can't go out to eat more than 4 times, and then there's poor.
Right, exactly.
It's like, yeah, or the whole, oh, I've had such a rough childhood. That's my problem. No, it's not.
no, because you can fix today. That's in your control.
Yeah, there's been a lot of days past your childhood that were your choice.
Well, for some, maybe not so much. But...
Well,
here we go. Taking a turn off the freeway there.
Carl. Anyway.
Poor Carl. He's watching this right now. He's trying to sleep, and he's just watching this. He's like, why do you keep saying my name?
Carl. It's just fun to do that every once in a while, Carl.
Just wait till he's going to be on this podcast eventually.
Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing. We will bring on guests over time, and probably even some guests that nobody knows. You want to know why? Because they're busy being business owners and not YouTubers.
Mm-hmm. We are YouTuber social media people second.
Yeah. Yeah, we're actually doing this because we're. Oh, oh.
Well,
Yeah, I'm having to police it a little bit there. I'm rewriting the sentence in my mind here.
the speaking spell's going on in his head. Just give him a minute.
That's a nice way to put. There is really no nice way to put this. We're doing this not because we think that one more reseller podcast is something that you guys just desperately need. We're doing this because we're tired of incorrect information ruining people's careers in the reselling industry.
Yes.
We're not perfect by any means, but the good news is, so I was told this a long time ago, that there's a difference between knowledge, or knowledge of wisdom, and learning. You can use someone's wisdom, and they got that wisdom by making a ton of freaking mistakes and telling you not to do those mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go learn them yourselves. It's up to you how you want to proceed.
Right.
So we're gonna hopefully bring you the wisdom, because we're the ones that have made the mistakes and continue to make the mistakes, to where you hopefully won't have to.
It's actually one of the things that's funny you talk about that mistakes. With the new YouTube channel that's coming out, WSNC, you'll be able to find us on YouTube, Rumble, and some of the others. Is we're gonna start buying some sketchy items so you don't have to, and that's part of our reviews of how to be a smarter buyer and being a smarter sourcer. So I think
Not sorcerer, but sorcerer.
if I can learn how to do the strange thing, and with the ring and open the portal, I will do it. I can almost do it. See, look how good I'm doing.
Oh yeah. Watch this. I can make a deal.
Oh, you are the master. You got me beat there.
Hey, good, we give it. Oh, my arm! I'm disappearing. Wrong spell. Shit. All right.
Just wait till this isn't water and how good this show will be.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's. I have a bottle of Pendleton waiting for when we get the Pro Series out.
So you're doing what you're saying is one of the things that is big for the sellers. Here's the big thing for the buyers. If you have nothing nice to say about a reselling podcast, leave. And the only reason I say that is because we have a lot of people that'll come into a reseller podcast and come after people because they're resellers. And I see that a lot on some of the others that we hang around with, and they want to criticize. I've worked at a lot of companies that they are a third or fourth party. And even look at the car industry. The car industry is really no different than what we do. You're buying and reselling new and used.
Yeah, look at how many times that title exchanges hands.
Are you going to go criticize them? Fine, then we won't have any used cars for you to buy. You got to buy them all new. Right? That drives me nuts.
Or the idea that reselling is just a horrible, it's just taken off since people have been downtrodden, and you're just buying all their stuff from them, and you're getting it cheap, and blah blah blah. No, we're usually buying it at exactly the amount that they're asking for it. And just because we know how to turn it into a profit doesn't make us evil, doesn't make us bad. In fact, there's been multiple times where I have stroked a check for the entire estate because you could tell the family was done. Just done. They don't want to deal with it anymore. And they actually thanked me for buying the entire estate, so they didn't have to play with it anymore. So before you put yourself in the position of the people that we're buying our stuff from, you might want to just step back and think that you probably don't know exactly what's going on in their life, and just shut up.
Yep.
Because they don't have to sell it to us either.
No.
It's not. You know how many people that I have went to and said, "Hey, you should really put this on eBay. It sells really good." And they go, Well, I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to learn. So you want to buy it? Yeah, okay, fine. Here's $5. I'll go make 25 on it. I told you to do it, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how many times even at estates I've taken my phone out and said, hey, you guys got this priced way too low. Here's what it's worth. Here's what it's selling for. This is how fast it's turning. You probably need to bump your price up. And I don't do it. Now, this is going to sound horrible. I don't do it when it's an estate company running the estate. But if it's like, somebody's daughter or something like that, that's already dealing with the emotions of losing that family member, and they got a ton of bills to pay for that estate. Yeah, I'll take the time to stop and help them out and say, hey, let's raise the price up on this. You're a little too high on that. If you want to get rid of it, it'll take an hour to walk around and show them some things. But I guess that's what makes me the horrible, bloodthirsty, just scourge of the earth as a reseller that, that doesn't think about it.
There are some resellers that I've watched that I don't agree with their buying tactics. So I can see where some people do get upset. And not saying their buying tactics are wrong. I'm just saying that their buying tactics are going to rub some people the wrong way. And
yeah.
The odds of you ever seeing me walking around with a camera and showing you how I buy is pretty much zero.
Yeah, no.
Because I'm sorry, that's boring. I like the source, and that's still boring to me. I think it's going to be more fun for you to watch me buy stuff that is sketchy. Watch me burn my own money. Hey, you do that on the lives. You sell $2 bills for $1.
Yeah. You guys talk about the horrible reseller, that they're just scourges of the earth and always make money. I ran not only just a $2 bill, but a misprinted $2 bill for $1. Sold $2 for $1. Not one of my prouder moments. Thank you for bringing that up.
You only get this kind of edgy content here.
Now, there is a chance that, I'll be bringing stuff, every so often that's like this to give you something to look out for if you are a seller out there. Or even if you're a buyer, because I guarantee you that, there was a ton of people that walked right by this knife and had no idea what the value was, including me. I just bothered to pick it up. But yeah, don't. See, now you're going to get me down a path.
This is like the intro video. We don't have to path.
I know, but there's literally nothing in this world that you buy as a consumer that isn't touched by multiple people before you ever get it.
Yep.
And every one of those people made money.
The manufacturing process from the manufacturer to the distributor, to the wholesale, to the retail, to the customer. I mean, it's...
Well, you still, you even go back further than the manufacturer. You can go into the raw goods, the miners, it just keeps going. If you think that, when you go and buy this can of unnamed soda, that they're the ones that are the only ones making money off of that can of soda. No, there's been 4 or 5 hands in that pie. So who's the bad guy out of that bunch?
He won't name the name because he wants a sponsorship first.
Well, I just, between that and telling them to take it off.
This could be an RC, it could be a Sprite, could be a
exactly. You know exactly what it is, but I'm not showing it.
I don't know, but it tastes great though.
Exactly. It's quite peppy. But yeah, it's it's no different than what we do. We have you that is basically contacting the wholesalers and becoming a retailer, albeit an e-commerce mostly retailer. But then you have guys like me where you buy. It's going to get noisy here in just a second, but that buy stuff that has already been purchased probably at least 3 or 4 times, and you do it again in the hopes that somebody else buys it from you. So that's 2 more purchases out of that tenure of that product.
Right.
And it's a problem because every person that has bought it made money. I don't understand.
Well, and see, here's the thing too, is not everybody necessarily made money off of it too. I mean, some people bought it to keep it and then they passed away, or they just decided, hey, I don't want this thing no more. I'll sell for $1 at a garage sale. They may not be making money on it. They paid 50 for it when they bought it. They got the use out of it. They got to enjoy it. And
yeah, there has to be a certain depreciation that's involved in, stuff in the house.
Imagine there's actually a math to this. Oh, goodness.
I think there is. Never mind. I'm not for sure, but I don't think it's a math.
Just wait till this ain't water.
Yeah. Well, and cheap viewers on streambo.com. Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need cheap viewers. I
like expensive viewers. See, when we get comments in the comment section, I like to yell.
Why are you yelling?
I want to make sure they hear us.
Yeah, it's we got things playing here. Hold on.
We got what?
I was gonna buy a Burna. So yeah, it's lay off resellers.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be easier if we called ourselves used product sellers?
No, not at all. I don't believe in changing terminology to suit somebody. If you don't like the channel, turn it. Sorry.
Have you ran into this before, where someone has wanted to make you change your terminal? Anyway,
I have, yeah, and I sold them some tissues, so that was good.
There's, for some reason, the title on their shirt said "her," her. But all right, well, we got an hour and 22 minutes into this. Yeah, we've probably already.
I do have one closing statement. Well, here I got one more. I got a closing statement. So there is other, like you had said, there's other podcasts out there that for resellers and selling and blah blah blah. And some of the comments I see in there, like, there's not a lot of talk about reselling and actually in the podcast. There's gonna be plenty of talk about reselling, about news and reselling, but there's also gonna be a lot of joking. There's gonna be a lot of talk outside of reselling, but that doesn't mean it's not a part of reselling. And you talked on it. The whole purpose of what you do is to stay upbeat and keep yourself going. You drive that into your live selling. That's what we are doing. So don't ever think that, well, that's not reselling. It's reselling.
Exactly. It's the ebb and flow that has to happen. Of sure, we may back out and joke a little bit and laugh, but there's probably, because there's a more serious topic coming up very shortly after that we're going to have to dive into. So yeah, like tariffs. Did we talk about? No, I'm kidding.
Nope.
What does that have to do with reselling? You think that's going to affect the reselling market?
Oh, not at all. Every toy and collectibles made in the U.S. So.
Hey, but here's the cool thing. I'll be okay. Mine's all used.
You will be fine. My prices have already gone up.
That I can see. And it's funny. I say that I'll be fine, but no, I won't, because as the new market goes up in price, the used market goes up in price, and I have to buy it at a higher rate. For instance, today when I bought those, 40 Hot Wheels, I bought them from the guy last year for 75 cents a piece. I bought them from the guy this year for $1 a piece.
You don't want to know my cost, though.
Well,
Well, my costs can vary, but and I think we're talking about basic carded. If we're
Yeah.
talking about basic carded, my cost is technically lower, but I have to buy 500 of them to get a lower
oh,
price.
so
Because
you have a volume discount.
right, so yeah, that's where retail gets kicked in the teeth.
Yeah.
Because it's not so much, oh, I can find it. I can find the retailer. I can buy from great. No, you have to hit minimums. You have to be able to buy smart because if you overbuy something, it ain't gonna sell. Good luck. You ain't gonna be in business long.
You know what I thought about? We need to figure out how to do that in our live auctions.
What's
If you
that?
want to buy from us, you have to buy a minimum of throughout the month. Think that would work?
I don't know. I'm not even following you on that one.
Well, so you have a buyer come in
Mhm.
and they want to purchase from us,
Mhm.
but they have to sign a guarantee before the purchase of you're going to buy at least 27 units at the live auction throughout the month. I mean, we're selling stuff cheap enough.
Oh, I get that. Yeah.
You're
Well,
not going. It was just a joke. It was a poorly laden joke. But it was
I learned that from Carl.
I wish I could figure it out. Brother, nope.
See, I'm with this. I'm with Jim on this one.
Nope.
The Beavis and Butthead started playing in my head.
You know what, though? We joke about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that Whatnot actually has that program?
That you're driving me into something that I just.
They have multiple tiers for like shipping discounts, and the more you buy, the more you tier up.
Oh, I tear up. I tear up thinking about it. I mean, a lot. I mean, where's the cat? I need to wipe my face.
They even discount depending on how many hours you have watched the auction.
You need to tell me about this tipping thing too. What is this tipping thing? What are you even tipping? What are you tipping?
The education and entertainment that we bring to you while live selling.
We should have a tip jar then.
We do.
Oh, sorry. I'm new to this tip jar thing. I don't know anything about it. I thought I had to give you something actually if you're giving money.
Well, yeah, no, you don't. Facebook doesn't have it that I know of. Maybe they do, but I don't think they do. But YouTube has something called Super Chats.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of their tipping.
Okay.
And then I think Twitch has tipping. Rumble has Rumble Rants. It's like, yeah. Mind you, I've never got one of these. People would just go to the others. Yeah, exactly. District has doubled in size. District has
it's grown a lot. I even heard about it after a while, and I don't listen at all.
I think it's actually bypass. I think it's went past double.
Nice, good. It's a good thing.
From what if I'm remembering correctly, because I know, some of the huge sellers over there, like Knickknacks and Knickknacks, I know has brought on another. How was it? I want to say it was like 4,000 people in the last month. And then, well, I mean, we've been on Dibdit to watch the growth of Dibdit. And I mean, just prime example, look at the Flea. We brought it on, ran one live stream and went, oh, okay, well, that was cool. And then all of a sudden we spent half the night proving people.
Right.
So the growth is definitely there. I'm slightly nervous about that kind of growth in a matter of like, because this all happened within, what would you say, probably like 2 months?
It was about 2 months, yeah.
Yeah, Dibdit's on District. So for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, there is a live selling platform out there that has now basically taken on Whatnot. I would almost say directly. They based just about everything that they can think of off of. They did the smart thing and looked at how Whatnot screwed up and decided that they didn't want to do that. So there's that whole, wisdom over, learning on your own. The sales I got to the most have 120 to 150 viewers. Yeah. I mean, there's some large sellers out there. But District is, I guess District, what would be a good way to think of this? District would be a strip mall, okay? And it's a strip mall with just a bunch of empty slots. And within those empty slots, you have marketplaces like the Thrifty Flea, like Dibdit, like Knickknacks, all of those. So they move into those empty slots in the mini mall or in the strip mall. And every one of those is like the 10 by 10 antique malls, where they rent you out a 10 by 10 spot to sell your goods. And that's where the sellers are. So you can be in multiple marketplace locations, all selling under the District platform, but you have to know what marketplace everybody is in. So the best I can tell you is if you go on to District and you find someone that you enjoy watching sell, follow the seller directly.
Yes.
By all means, support the marketplace, follow them, but make sure that you're following the sellers too, because as that seller transitions to, like me, where I'm an everything seller, I'm not probably going to sell toys and hunting supplies over on Knickknacks because, well, it's not allowed. So if you want to know where I'm selling next, you gotta be following the seller. Whatnot shipping is way too high. eBay has cheaper shipping than Whatnot. Yes and no. Whatnot is definitely expensive when you buy 1 to 2 pieces. Because Whatnot's shipping is actually based on medium and large flat rate boxes. So you can ship out, they have an agreement with the U.S. Postal Service that you ship out a medium or large flat rate box for, I think, don't quote me on this because I know there was a price increase, but I think it's at $8.97 now. So the problem is, though, if you buy one item that's not very big, you're still paying that $8.97 to ship that one item. So that's where their problem is, and that's why District didn't follow that model. District shipping is based on basically what the seller decides. We can do the calculated shipping. 9 times out of 10 we choose not to, because the calculation is usually off and it's way more expensive than it actually is to ship it. But I will say this, in the same breath, if you go into someone's show and they're sending out let's say an item that is under 8 ounces, okay, you look at it and a single Hot Wheel doesn't cost no $6 to ship. Yeah, it does. It's going to cost you at a minimum, if they are in the town, if you live in the town next to the seller, a minimum of $4.97 to ship it. And then you have to think about, we don't get to use, we can use if we want, the priority boxes from the mail, but you would pay even higher shipping then. So we use brown boxes, but those we have to purchase ourselves.
Yep.
So it's 75 cents to $1 per box. So now you add that, and now you're up to $5.97. It's not that far of a jump to $6. So we just call it an even $6.
Right.
So that's a little breakdown on the shipping, because I have seen that come up a few times in some of my lives as of recent. Of, wow, the shipping's expensive. It is, but you're buying one small item. It'll get better if you buy another small item, because it only costs you $1. It only costs me probably $1.25 more to ship that next little item.
See, I never have that problem.
What's that?
I never have that problem.
What's that?
I buy like 20 items in a show.
Well, yeah. Good Lord, in that last show, I caught your disease.
Yeah.
Oh, way too many Hot Wheels.
I'm getting you into the die-cast sickness. You can see the money in it.
The dreadful part was I knew I was in trouble the minute I said, well, how do I not buy that? Simple. Don't click the button.
It's over at that point. And every time you're like, okay, I'm done now. That was my last one. I was like, that one's got the Hemi in it.
Yeah. Well, the worst part was you drug me there by my weakness.
Stop.
Hey, there's stompers over here.
You're getting called out.
What's that? Your first item is $8. WSC has cheaper shipping. WSC lives closer to you. Literally.
We are in Ohio.
And actually, my first item is $8 if you're buying a medium. It's only $6 if you're buying a small.
See, I think we throw people off because people, like, I work constantly, as you know. I'm always working, but I always look for that work smarter while I'm working harder. There's no such thing as work smarter and not harder. If you're gonna work hard, if you find a way to be more efficient, you're just gonna do more. And the way I look at it, most of my stuff, very few times am I gonna have a need for a medium or large shipping, and if I do, it's gonna be one, maybe two a show. So is it really worth me changing shipping? No, I'll ship it for $1. Here you go. You guys can get a deal, and usually it bids straight up. So it offsets.
Now, see, the problem I run into is like the show the other night, where, okay, guys, I'm gonna try to run all smalls just because I know, as long as I can stay in that category, even if something like slightly larger pops up, I'm good. And then I take my lips off the crack pipe and say, I've got an idea. I should run art glass, because that's not gigantic and heavy.
This ain't literally a clear brick.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you remember that red pulled flower dish that I ran?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea how much that weighed?
I'm gonna guess it was probably in the 7-pound range.
You're really close.
Yeah.
That was before I put it in the package.
Oh, damn. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have to have that. That's not one I can go, you know what, guys? I'm not even changing the shipping on this. Oh, no. I'm changing the shipping on this, because this is going to cost me like $16 to ship it out, and you're going to pay like $8.
What was funny is that Batmobile I gave away a couple shows ago.
Yeah.
That thing was 9 pounds by itself, and it had to go in an 18 by like 15 by 9. So that one cost me quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? The buyer was happy.
Sure.
And that's the thing, though, is like what we try to do, and we try to show appreciation as much as we can. 'Cause we love our buyers, we absolutely do, and I think we all do. It's
Well, I
just
mean,
increased.
Jim's a pain in my ass, but other than that, yeah, I like the rest.
No, I love all our buyers, and I just try to show some appreciation, and so we just try to pick some nice stuff for people, and we like doing some big ones from time to time. Like all our giveaways, I think on district and as a whole, like everybody has done one and has done a good job giving away nice stuff. We just try to throw some big ones in there every now and then, just to give that extra little pop for the buyer.
No, you don't throw big ones in. You throw fucking gigantic ones in. Good God. You can't say I had to put it in an 18 by 18 by 6 and then go, we throw some big ones in. It's just a little slightly larger than the average. No.
The funny thing is that wasn't even the biggest one. The Lego Harry Potter one was the biggest one.
Oh yeah, the one you couldn't fit in your photo booth. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was definitely the most expensive one we've given away. No, sorry, the biggest one, not the most expensive, the biggest one.
Yeah.
I think was the Michael Kors bracelet the most expensive. It was between those two.
That was 85.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the Michael Kors topped it, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think it did. I can't remember. The Lego Harry Potter was close. It was in the ballpark. I know the
thought
Pokemon.
It was like 80.
It was right there. It was
Yeah.
damn there. And the Pokemon Center Mega Constructs, both of those were at 70 on those ones.
Yeah.
And those were all giveaways, guys.
I guess I won't talk about taking my lips off the crack pipe. You need to maybe take yours off.
It's just showing buyer appreciation for, and you know what? It's buyer appreciation not just for the buying aspect of it. It's the kind words. A lot of times we get people saying when they love coming to our shows and enjoy the banter and enjoy they just put it on the background if they're not even buying. So it's the kind words too. I mean, it's not just the buying part of it. It's the kind messages they send us and saying how much they love the show and stuff. So
don't worry, I got some giveaways for next week. I got to have some old Tupperware laying around here somewhere. Then
we got some damn it dolls to give away. I heard those are big.
That's not funny.
I heard those are big.
You're hitting the sore spot here now. It's funny. I laugh and joke about freaking Tupperware all the time, but you even watched it the other night. You realize that all that Tupperware I sold for really close to eBay value?
It is the Tupperware is a hot item, I will admit. It's got a cult following, and it's one of those big ones that is just never gonna go away, apparently.
No, can't. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, the sick part is like you would think it would, right? Like, I know some of my wife's friends know about the old Tupperware and buy the old Tupperware, and they're younger than us, so they're like early 30s. So it ain't going away anytime soon.
No. Eventually, 50 to 60 years from now, it'll finally make its way to a landfill somewhere, and it'll die its pleasant death that it deserves.
It ain't gonna die. It'll never decompose. It'll get dug up, and then it'll be in a museum, like in 200 years from now, but still the same casserole inside of it.
That's how good it is at saving your food.
Look, it's still there.
Yeah, but see, now they're okay. We were talking about the shipping thing. There's another one that has snuck up and bit me before. Is Tupperware. Because you don't realize how big and bulky that crap is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a weight issue with Tupperware. It's size. Yeah, you start having to break out the 24 by 24 by 12 boxes. That's gonna be pricey to ship.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you watch. If you're gonna be selling Tupperware, be watching the pieces you're picking up, and just be aware it's gonna be pricey.
I enjoyed these sellers that started selling sporting equipment just because there was a channel to sell on. and they frickin'
Oh, that was freaking hilarious.
that was so good. They're like the 4x4x48 boxes. And like, you gotta
Yeah, that are
learn.
actually 5x5x49.
There's a little size difference on there.
When you're shelling out, $90 to $100 every freaking box because you didn't measure it correctly.
The only nice thing is you can make that mistake once, twice, maybe 3 times, and UPS or FedEx will be giving, and they will give you back your money, and they'll just remind you kindly what you screwed up on. But eventually they're gonna say no, and you're just gonna eat the fees. So
Yep. Yeah, and there have been sellers that have been told they are no longer allowed to use UPS, FedEx, USPS because they have taken advantage of it too much. That's a huge problem over on Whatnot. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
I'm gonna sell this 5-pound item and call it 8 ounces in a 12x12x12. See ya.
But they deserve it. I mean,
It's true.
I mean, have I screwed up shipping? You betcha I have. Have I been called out for it? Yeah, I got kicked in the teeth a couple times just because I had the scale not perfectly on the table and misweighted by a pound. And that does happen from time to time. You're gonna make mistakes, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Just don't make it habitual because you will end up out of, like you said, not allowed to ship to those companies. You screw up enough, eBay will see you as a risk, and you won't be selling on there no more, or wherever you're selling. That's the thing you guys got to realize too, is with reselling, it's not just your risk, it's where you're selling on. You are a risk to them.
Yeah.
So make sure.
That's why they side with the buyer so often, is because the buyer's not the risk, you're the risk.
Right. So you better be good at what you do and be honest.
Yeah. And as far as the shipping goes, I can honestly say I've only had one that I misweighed, I guess I should say. And luckily my local post office caught it and said, hey, can you just come up and redo the label? Golden. But have you ever been paid by the United States Postal Service? I've
gotten return shipping through eBay even.
Yeah, I got an adjustment the other day. I about fell out of my chair. I thought it was like $3 and some odd cents too. I was shocked.
I got one. It was stupid. It was complete screw up on their part, but I don't know what you do about it. I guess I can look into it. As a package, I paid $5.45 for shipping, and I got back like $5.20 of it. I was like, that can't be right. And they had it marked. It was like 0.05 ounces. It's like, it was in like a freaking 12x9x4. There's no way. The box weighs more than that.
I was going to say the box is heavier than that.
So I contacted eBay, and they were just,
it's U.S. Postal Service's problem, not ours. Okay.
So I'm looking back, and it's like from a box from like 6 months ago.
Meh. Who cares?
This was a couple years ago too. This is not new history by any means.
Well, all right, sir. Well, I think we're at just about 2 hours now. We're at an hour and 48 minutes. So
we made it.
We made it. We should probably hop off of here at some point in time and let these good people go to bed, and we do the same.
Yeah, we got to get it figured out where our times are good, or maybe have to change a day, maybe, or something. And we got to massage this a bit, but it was good to come on and introduce and
do a little rubbing, just a little.
Yeah, but well, if we're gonna do some rubbing, maybe we got to keep the time where it's at.
Well, yeah, there's that after dark thing. Anyway,
exactly.
All right. So how do you feel? What's the future of the Real Resellers podcast?
Well, I'm hoping it's a bright future because I think we got the tools, we got the knowledge. We definitely have the friends and frenemies, and
Didn't think of one right off the top, man.
Like I said, I'm not naming any names
Carl.
that I immediately did. No, I'm not. Hey, it's gonna be a good. I think it'll be a good thing. It'll evolve, but
It'll be interesting. What I'm hoping that we can hear more of through doing this is more of the success stories than the failures. And as long as that number is higher than the other one, we'll keep doing it as long as we can.
And technically, we have at least 30 years.
One of us does.
I probably have more than 30, and it's just because I probably won't retire, because I think if I retire, I'll die.
I'm just plumb happy that I made it past 21. After that, it's all just a gift.
There's a story about that, but I will not say that on here.
All right, sir. Well, I appreciate you hanging out. And yeah, I think this is going to be more and more fun throughout the time.
I think, and we let everybody know that we are the two permanent hosts, correct?
Yes, we are the real resellers. That thing that says right back here, or up in that corner. We're the crazy ones.
Yeah, so don't worry. I'm not just the oddity that shows up once. I'll be here all the time.
No, he's a. We just co-host this thing. Unfortunately he is stuck.
I thought this jerk felt funny.
Well, it was hard talking your wife into putting that glue on there before you sat down, but it works.
It does. Well, you got to stay here to the next podcast.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you in. I'll check in about 72 hours. See how you're doing.
So we're aiming for next Friday. We're gonna see how this massage is out.
Yeah, we'll tentatively it'll be next Friday about the same time. Friday could shift though, because I know we both are fairly busy on our Fridays, so
yes,
we may have to figure out something else, or we may pre-record and we could do that too.
But
pre-record and release on Friday.
It is nice though to have it live and have people interact live, but
it is fun.
It is fun, and I like the idea of it. I don't know. We'll massage it. We'll figure it out.
I mean, as long as somebody doesn't keep coming in here picking on me about my shipping, I'll be fine.
You know what? I'm gonna call some people and have them just come in here and pick on you about your shipping.
I figured you would, you prick. All right.
They don't even know who we are as sellers.
Just come in here and give this guy shit about his shipping. I'll appreciate it.
I'm just gonna go to the grocery store tomorrow. Here, go here. Seems random. Let's just go. Just start giving shit about shipping. You don't have to know.
So I figured it out. I figured out how I'm going to solve the problem. I'm just going to move to like Kansas. I'm smack freaking dab in the middle of the United States, and there's no variant any direction. Except for Alaska, Hawaii, and
but all of us have that.
Yeah,
all of
exactly.
us. Even California has that.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed your first podcast, and hopefully there's many, many more coming.
Now that I got the first out of the way, I feel calmer.
Now that you've popped your... Anyway, good night, everybody.
My headset died. Where'd it go? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.
We'll catch you all next time.